Hello, my name is KWEKU Mensah. You know me as Little KWEKU, signing into Ghana's biggest conversation show, Little KWEKU Interviews, coming to you live on the Mensah TV. Today I'm going to have an amazing conversation with one of Ghana's prolific personalities. And before I do that, let's go for Inspire Yourself. Alright, welcome back from that inspirational quote. This is Little KWEKU Interviews coming to you live on the Mensah TV. And we come to you live from KWEKU's Hotel. KWEKU's Hotel, if you want to come to KWEKU's Hotel, it's inside Kaswa of DOTSE. You can contact them on 0248482898, 0248482898. Conference, bar, whatever you want, you come here, you have it. Alright, now that KWEKU Mensah, you know me as Little KWEKU, and I welcome you to Ghana's biggest conversation show, Little KWEKU Interviews on the Mensah TV, on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. It's the Mensah TV. Today we're going to have an amazing conversation with a prolific personality, and before I introduce him, let's go for Inspire Yourself. Alright, so welcome back from that inspiring quote. This is Little KWEKU Interviews on the Mensah TV. Like I told you earlier, we have a prolific personality here, and he is the person who says you need to dare to be hopeful always. You should dare to be hopeful always. He's the person of Mr. Daniel DOTSE. Welcome.
Thank you.
How are you?
I'm great.
Wow.
Yes.
Wonderful having you on our show.
Thank you. And thank you for extending the invitation to me.
Alright. Okay. So, for someone who is watching you out there for the very first time, who is Mr. Daniel DOTSE?
Oh, thank you very much. Thank you for interest in me. Mr. DOTSE is a young man, married. I'm a contractor. I live at CP, Sun City, behind Sun City Hotel. I'm married with 3 kids. I come from the Volta region. And then, as I said earlier on, I'm a contractor by profession. And I also ventured into politics to help the community. I am the aspiring assemblyman for CP Windy Hills, Yakuye electoral area in Kaswa. And then I want to come on board to bring on board a lot of developmental projects to my community. And that's the reason why I'm contesting for the position.
Wow, wonderful. That's a wonderful introduction. Now, before we kickstart the conversation, I would like you to elaborate on what I said earlier during the intro, dare to be hopeful always. Why do you say you should dare to be hopeful always?
Hope is what keeps us alive. Hope is when you are hopeful, it infects any other person around you to also be hopeful. When we are hopeful, we are able to achieve a lot. And so that's how I believe in the saying, dare to be hopeful. And that is one of my taglines. You always have to dare to be hopeful. Always.
Okay. Alright. So, being at CP Windy Hills, the Yakuye electoral area. Alright. I hope what you want to do is not something new, but there have been people who are already into it and doing it. What is that thing one thing that we should look up for when we see you, that will differentiate you from the current scene that we have?
What initially made me even contest is the fact that there have been a lot of failed promises. I think the idea of an assemblyman is somebody who's supposed to lead the community to be able to solicit projects to the community. And then we have had a lot of assemblymen and women who have come into that area who have made a lot of promises but couldn't deliver. And I live in that area. I see the developmental challenges. As a contractor, as I move around, I see roads being bad, areas poorly lit, and sanitation problems very, very bad. So it means that it calls for leadership. And that leadership is what I think I have to be able to mobilize people, which I've been doing. So that is what motivates me to contest. And that's what I think I have different from the rest. The ability to mobilize people and then to bring people on board to pursue a certain agenda. And that will be to the best of the community in which we live.
So from the way you are speaking, do you live in the electoral area?
Yes, I do.
For how long now?
I've been there for well over 7 years.
About 7 years.
Yes. So we're entering into my 8th year. I've been there since 2000, but then I came to leave well over 7 years now. Yes.
Okay. And think you have what it got to take up that position?
Yeah. I believe that even when you come and live in an area for just one day, you can see the problems in the area. So you don't even need to live in the area for close to 1 year or 2 years before you can appreciate the problems in the area. When it's dark, everybody knows it's dark. Nobody tells you that this place is poorly lit. If there's rubbish around, you don't need to live 10 years before you know, okay, this place is almost always dirty. If there's an issue of sanitation or clinic or the roads being bad, no one will tell you that. So I believe that once you have the concern of the environment, the community at heart, you're able to easily identify the problems, and then that is the mark of a good leader, to see the problems, and then once you identify the problems, then you can solve them.
Okay. Yes. All right. So during your introduction, introducing your personality, you said a whole lot of things, but there is one thing that I think I'll ask. Do you go to church?
Yes, I'm a Christian.
Wow. So where do you fellowship?
I fellowship at ICGC, at Ambassador's Temple, at CP Pastor. That's where I fellowship.
Wow.
My pastor is Pastor Cote.
Wow.
Yes.
Hello, Pastor Cote.
Yes.
All right. So after this, okay, now that we know that you're a Christian, I want to link this one. How do you see Christianity and politics? How do you see it? I'm a Christian. I want to do politics. How does it match? Is your Christian life clean, or is it that I'm doing politics, so my Christian I'm doing it partial, or I'm a full Christian I'm doing politics partial? How does it work? Imagine the two.
I think because of the many that have come into politics, they have tainted the image of politics. Politics is actually to help the people, and that is what Christianity is. You are supposed to help your neighbor as yourself, and that is what Christianity teaches. So actually, Christianity and politics go hand in hand. But because we've had for a long time seen or endured a lot of terrible politicians or bad politicians who didn't live up to their expectations, it gave politics a very bad name. So politics actually to serve the people, and that's what Christianity says. Christianity says that love your neighbor as yourself, and then also serve the environment in which you live. So I believe that there has to be a lot of Christians that's supposed to go into politics to change the image of politics. If you have a good heart, you should enter into politics so that you can change the image that it has. Otherwise, we would all just leave it as the bad name that it already has, and then everybody will be shifting away from politics. This day and age, politics controls a lot of things. Politics controls our way forward, development, growth of an area, development of everything comes from politics. Christians will do their part, Muslims will do their bits, religion will do its bits, but then politics handles a lot of the things. So the more we start grooming ourselves, and that is from the early stages where you are in Sunday school, they teach you certain values. Those values are what you're supposed to input into politics, and that's the reason why I'm entering into politics.
So is it something you suggest that
yes.
Christians can also indulge in?
Yes.
especially the youth.
Yes, I would encourage a lot of the youth who have good hearts to enter into politics. Politics is now seen as a money-making venture. You don't go into politics to be served. You go into politics to serve.
Really?
Yes. And that's how come you need a lot of humble people to come and serve. You don't come and then be served. And one thing that everybody will see you and call you honorable, then you be getting a lot of funds. No. You don't go into politics to get funds. You're supposed to identify the problems and then come and solve them. If you have no solution, you not venture into it. If not the money, you don't come and say, I'm investing into politics so that I can reap from it. No. You come to serve. In several countries, many other countries, when you get many of them who enter into politics come to serve. But it appears only in Africa that you see that a lot of us or a lot of politicians come because of benefits, selfish benefits. And that's what has brought Africa to where it is now. Africa is still the poorest continent in the whole of the world. And it's sad. And we have the richest of all resources in Africa. The West come to Africa, mine oil, mine gold. They've been mining gold ever since inception. Before, during slavery, they've been mining gold. And they are very rich. It means that we are supposed to be rich. Why? Because of bad politics. Because of bad leadership. And that is why we need a lot of good-hearted people who are Christians, Muslims, anybody who is God-fearing to enter into politics. And that's the reason why I'm entering.
Okay. So, if the youth want to join, how then they start? Do they also go standing for positions, or do they also do mobilization, as you are saying, or do they also get a good heart? How should they also start?
Right. I began my interest in leadership from a very tender age.
Okay.
From basic school. You see a position as to lead your classmates. Teacher is not around, they are disturbing, you can start controlling them. It's a calling that you have, that, oh, okay, get up. And that's the leadership. And that's something that God brings out of you. So when you see a problem, maybe there's no chalk around, you pick up a chalk. The teacher is not in, maybe you're going to look outside to see where the teacher is, and you can inform your colleagues. That's where it starts. Classroom is that you pick a book, you see your fellow colleagues also see that, okay, then you also start following your example. And that's how leadership starts. So when you start leadership like that, gradually you are grooming yourself to be a leader. And that is when you go into it and you start becoming, you can go fully into politics to help your society, your community.
All right. So elections are coming up very soon, right?
Yes.
Okay. We'll come back to that. Alright, so this is Let's KWEKU interviews on the Mensah TV. Let's go for a quick break. We'll be right back. Welcome back from that break. This is Let's KWEKU interviews on the Mensah TV, Ghana's current biggest conversation show. If you just tune in, we are not lost. We are not almost done. Yeah, we have some few minutes to sign out. But before that, we are coming to you live from KWEKU's Hotel inside Kaswa of Anko, Sipa Junction. They just enter. There's some few minute drives, serene atmosphere, conference, bar, room, pool, gym, whatever you want. You can call them on 0248 482898, 0248 482898. Alright, back to you, Honorable. So you made mention of you being a contractor in our introduction. If I may ask, what particularly do you do?
Okay. I'm into general contracts. I do facility management. I do estate development.
Okay.
Estate before. Let's see, there's always renovations.
Okay.
So my specialty is in all those fields. Those areas.
So are there opportunities for the youth which will be following you right now as you are mobilizing them, just like you said? Are there any opportunities for you in such a field?
There is a vast opportunities for all the youth. I've rolled out a program where I'm making sure that all the youth in my area, the electoral area in which I am contesting, I mobilize them. There is a youth parliament which we hold where the youth are able to come up with problems that are in their area and then how it can be solved from the youth perspective. Then, because it's more like every time they are not heard. So you need to provide that forum where the youth can also be heard. There was a story of a truck that was stuck under a tunnel. All the engineers came around to take off, pull out the truck. They couldn't pull it out. Everybody tried, they couldn't pull it out. Then there was this little boy who approached the contractors, the engineers, and said, "Oh, sir, I think if we deflate the tire, it can come out." They were like, yes, we didn't think about that. They were all thinking about engineering, how to do exactly things. But the little things, little ideas come from the youth. So you don't ever leave out the youth. So that program is there. Youth that want to also do internship are welcome, where you want to be on site firsthand, maybe road construction, you want to know what it entails, maybe building, you want to know what it entails, you're free to come around. I think I'm the only assemblyman who have advertised his number on the poster because I want to be available. And then I don't want to be like, oh, where is the assemblyman? We don't know where he is. So the number is on the poster.
But aren't these numbers going to change after the election has been held or something like that?
That has been a number I've been using for years. And that is a business line. I can't change my business line.
Okay, so this is Little KWEKU interviews on the Mensah TV. Few months ahead of us, we will check if this number Honorable is talking about will go through. Honorable that the chair is talking about will go through. Alright, so before you are going to give us these numbers and social media handles and all those things, if the elections coming up, someone is in your electoral area, but even haven't heard of the youth parliament and all that we are talking about now, how can that person get to join and the voting issues and all that when it's happening?
Alright. During the limited registration, I made sure I mobilized a lot of the youth to go and register. The voting place was very, very far away, and then the youth were not able to transport themselves to that place. So I provided that little transport. I was able to mobilize, got a few sponsors to be able to help me with transportation. Exactly. So I was able to move the youth to that registration center. So same way, I have a lot of them, their contacts, and I've been interacting with them as time goes on. And that is how I am closer to my electorates. Understand? So I will still continue with that close contact, and then make sure that we work together, we listen to each other, and then we share ideas to be able to help the community.
So when is the voting coming on?
The voting is going to be in December. That's going to be 10th of December.
10th December.
All things being equal from the EC. Anybody who, there's also a period where you do a vote transfer, because Kaswa is a growing community. We've had, Kaswa can boast of around 700,000 persons in Kaswa. It's very huge. So it's a growing community and people come in, day out. When you come to a community and you live in that community, you are part of the community. So the best is to get involved in the building the community. One of it is voting in the community. So probably you might have registered somewhere else, but when you come to that community, I would advise that you register in a community. So you can do a vote transfer. That would come in October, September, October, November, depending on the EC schedule.
Okay.
Then December, we do the voting.
Okay.
Yes.
All right, so your telephone numbers and your social media handles,
Yes.
that we can get to.
Before that,
Okay.
I want to say something. There's something that is on my heart, which is a clinic abandoned at CP. It's an 80-bed capacity clinic. It's been finished over 2 years now, but what I noticed was that because it was started by the previous government, it's been left to rot. When you go there, you see that all the air conditioners, most of the air conditioners have their parts stolen. And then main air conditioners have also been stolen. It hurts me because it's you and I, our taxpayers' money, that's going down the drain. And so anywhere I go, any chance I get, I want to make it a point so that the electorates understand that it's high time we let politicians know that it is our national asset, not NPP, not NDC, not politics. It is national assets. That facility there, after some time, they're going to use my taxpayers' money, your taxpayers' money, to renovate, to replace the air conditioners there. Whilst our parents, our wives, our children, our uncles, our aunties get ill and die because they don't have access to the clinic. That clinic was there, finished, when one minister, I think his name is George Under, he had an accident at Gumwa. He was flown by a chopper, helicopter, all the way from Gumwa to 37 to be treated. Ask yourself, how different is George Under to us? That for us, the hospital is there, we will not go. But then when you fall ill right now, not even an ambulance is available to take you to a clinic. But the ministers are treated preferentially. When they all fall sick, they travel outside the country and then go and then get themselves healed. But you and I, the taxpayer, foreign taxpayer, would be here and then the clinic is not being opened. So what I'm championing is that clinic must be opened now because we are tired of. If you go down the history, a lot of factories have been built by previous governments, housing projects built by previous governments. Our taxpayers' money. Roads started, they are not finished. But then we are paying. And then before you realize, everything has deteriorated. And then you have to now start again. So that's something that is on my heart. That we need to stop this. And the youth need to rise to let the politicians know that this thing must stop. If there's no other better word, I could say this nonsense should stop. My number is 0244 264 236. That is the number on the poster. So if you misplace that number, wherever you see my poster, you will see the number on it. I can mention it again. 0244 264 236. I am available as Daniel Luchi on Facebook, on Instagram, on Twitter. That's me. I don't add any nickname or that sort. When I contested in Legon for ex-House President, the nickname I was given was On the Run. Because I'm always on the run to get to a certain goal. Because I feel we are back. Back, way back. Okay. Africa is, we need to move Africa forward.
I think you have a lot to say.
Yes.
We'll be doing part 2 of this
Yes.
interview.
Yes.
Thank you very much for
Thank you.
honoring our invitation. This is the man who says, dare to be hopeful always. This has been the Little KWEKU interviews on the Mensah TV with me, KWEKU Mensah. You know me as Little KWEKU. We came to you live from KWEKU's Hotel. Contact them 0248482898. Thank you very much, my crew, my cinematographer, Anteleli, my director Hero, official Red Sam, Kojo, Higan Solomon, and Reverend Dr. Anthony Kojo Boache of Resurrection Power New Generation Church. Thank you. I'm out.